the sound. That's what I'm doing now, though. Testing, testing, test on the breasting. Let's see what we can do on the gresking. Gresking, testing, breast congalesking. Ziki tiki tang chong, ziki tong desting. Ling ting. Oh, that's me. Hi. Hi, how are you? Hi. Hi. What's going on? What the heck? What the hell are you? Excuse. What the hell are you? As you can see, any day now. Any day. Okay, that's a weird. That's a weird. Let's see, is this working? That's working. Yay. Okay. Cool. Twitch is good. Mixer, on the other hand, on otra cosa. That's thing, though, right? Cosa is thing. Otra cosa is thing. The other thing on the other thing. Okay, let's do this again. Let's see if that is what it doesn't do. Town. There we go. There I is. What's up? Oh, it's out of time sequence. Zabading tubto. Where's my chat though? There it is. Live chat. Give me. There we go. Hey, live chat. How you doing? I love live chat. Mainly because it's alive. Also, it's a chat. All those things sound in the live chat. Okay, so if you can look up on the top here, I have my GP. I guess my GPU blah blah and yada yada. So my GPU temperature is 61 degrees Celsius. My GPU speed is 104%, and my VRAM usage is 11%. And I'm streaming to. Well, I guess I'm streaming to one place, which is streaming to two places right now. I'm about to turn on my butt. That's the name of the program. It's called Butt. See, Butt. Not called Idle. It's called Butt. So I'm turning on Butt because I need to. Because I need to be heard. Word. And I never did do this, but that's okay. Hubris cast. R9 cast. Live beaches. Excuse me. I have the how do you say I had this last week, got it this week, yeah boy. Rocco was sick today, so I'm probably gonna be sick. Okay, so GPU clock speed is at 1085. I don't know what any of this means. 1085. Maximum was at 1301. Oh, what else is here? Fan speed. No, not going down. I'm trying to. There we go. Memory clock. Max min 8,000 megahertz. My memory. I have 8 gigs of RAM on my card. GPU is 61. Yeah, still 61. Very good. GPU usage at 80%. What? I mean 40%. It was 40, 24. Okay, about half. That's all right. Yeah. Well, I was looking at my thing, but that's a CPU. That's not GPU. I don't have any GPU things on my desktop there, but I have this, which is cool. Memory usage 845. Max is 937. Oh, the memory of the card. Duh. I'm so not smart. Yeah. What did I say? Tools. Ooh, I could go and I can. Okay, here we go. Look, this is all the stuff. Versions. Tweak. Pixel fill rate 42.4 gigapixels per second. Is that good? I don't know. Might be good. I guess I'll start butt now. I'll start butt now. Start the butt now. Start the butt now. Start it up. Start the butt now. Start the. So my GPU is 14 nanometers. Die size is 232 micrometers. to the 5th. What is that to the? I can't even read that. To the, I don't know. Wow, this thing's like 2 years old. It's over 2 years old. The Asus bus shaders 22304 unified shaders. Is that good? Is that a good amount? Tired Claw, you know about shaders stuff. DirectX 12 support. Hell yeah. Texture fill rate 190.8 gigatexels per second. What is a gigatexel? Okay, I'll just go with that. Memory type GDDR5. 8 gigs of that. Bus width is 256 bit. Bandwidth is 256 gigabits per second. That is lower than the Xbox One X. Aha! Ah! That's why the Xbox One X is so good. Clock speed is at 1324. It's not the fastest, but you know, GPU. Shaders at 2000. It's the memory, 2000 megahertz. Default clock speed is 1305, so I'm overclocking it by 20 megahertz. real fast stuff here. Let's see if this is working here. All games per second. Yeah, it's working. That is okay. AMD Crossfire is disabled because I don't have this card is not in an AMD computer. It's in an Intel computer, so that would not work. Computing OpenCL Direct CUDA? No, it's not CUDA. That's what you call it, PhysX now. Okay, that's cool. So 9%, 104. Yeah, nothing's changed. I'm not playing the game or anything. So I'm just streaming. I'm streaming everything. So this is my load on my GPU as a streamer. Which of course, you know, streaming doesn't really do anything to your GPU. It's all CPU stuff. Bye. So let's see. Let us see. Let me move this over a little bit so I can see. So the CPU usage, I'm at CPU usage is at like it's bouncing from 40 to 70% basically, bouncing back and forth. So that's where, and I'm just streaming. I got nothing else open. So that's where having a good GPU would. Oh, here goes Tiger. Here he go again. Here they go again. Tiger Class SSG. Tiger Class says SG. That is correct because AMD is garbage. Why you dissing AMD? You know. I think Intel is garbage. You see all that. You see all that stuff that happened with the no, that was Nvidia, right? What was the Intel's graphics? They're like behind schedule or something. Talking about garbage. They can't even get their damn chips out. Meanwhile, AMD is like, yo, y'all want 7? All right, here you go, 7. And over there, Intel's like, dang man, hold up, man, we still working on 10. We still working on 14. No, they're like, I think they're working on 10 millimeter size. Meanwhile, you know what I'm saying? The competition's like, yeah, we got 7. What, you want 4 next? All right, we'll work on that. Don't worry about that. But here's 7 for now. Pay says, oh wait, hold up. Pay says, Tiger Claw says. Pay says, Tiger Claw, at Tiger Claw. AMD is not garbage. You take that back, thanks. And Tiger Claw says, AMD is poor man's CPU. I don't have a AMD CPU. Those benchmarks don't lie. AMD is way behind in them gaming benchmarks. Well, what about the RX? The whatchamacallit? I can't even remember. Pace says, my Xbox One X is powered by my AMD, and it's gonna play Red Dead Redemption 2 better than your giant e-penis. All I know is comes this. Oh yeah, it is coming out. All I know is comes this Friday. My AMD powered Xbox One X is gonna play Red Dead 2 in 4K HDR, while your shitty non-AMD PC won't be able to play it in 4K HDR. Sucker. He said sucker. Who's the poor man now? You. Oh, I should start the show, right? What up, y'all? It's our Nightcast, the official Blind Dish, Concon Christian Super Dope Show for Reservoir9.com, representing allgames.com. You know what I need? I need to make a intro bumper, so I don't have to say that anymore. I just be like, it's Esgee, and just press the button and play, right? And then it'd be like, what's up, y'all? Let's get in it. Let's begin. You know how the YouTubers be starting? be starting like their videos. Let's jump in. Let's begin. Let's start now. Like, what did they say? I would just say, let's go. No, see, it's derivative of what actually everybody else says. That sounds. I don't know. I'll figure something out. Hold up, y'all. Y'all are clicking too fast. Clicking too fast. GK128 says, "What's up? His PC can't play it at all. No PC release. Oh, true that. It's not particular or peculiar. I think they'll come out with a PC eventually, probably like 6 months to a year later, because they want that money, son. If anything is taught Rockstar is that GTA 5 has taught them that release it on PC and just add a whole bunch of not features but just multiplayer online things to do, and that's it. That's what we gotta do. Make billions of dollars. That's the equation. That's what everybody's chasing right now. Everybody's looking at Rockstar like, okay, they have made the most successful, popular entertainment thing in the history of the earth. Mankind, the earth. The most money. They have made it. And how? They kind of stumbled into it, honestly, because online was broke when it came out. It was like garbage. Then they kept pouring some stuff in it, and everybody's like, wait, where's the single player DLC? It's like, don't worry about that. Pouring some stuff more into online. Everybody's like, just online's kind of fun. Nobody cares about the single player story stuff anymore. Nobody cares about that. Nobody. So it's like, yeah, we made a bazillion dollars, so we don't care either. We don't care. Pay says, exactly, you a sucker, Tight Claw. GK says, but he has a PS4, so not 4K HDR unless it's a PS4 Pro. He has HDR, but just no 4K. 4K, no 4K. Tiger Claw, I know you don't understand that. You are Cubans and stuff. You are Cubans. Duplex says, why would he get a PS4 when AMD is garbage? True. Pay says, exactly. No Red Dead Redemption for you, sucker. Sucker. You should say sucker. Sucker's more. I'm gonna get you, sucker. I don't particularly like Keenan Ivory Wayans. Not because he's not funny. I think his head's too big. I am very prejudiced against super big headed people. I'm just kidding. My brother got a big head. I love him. He's my brother. Tycla says that new Intel i9 99K is whooping AMD's ass in those gaming benchmarks. Is competing against AMD Ryzen 24 and Intel is destroying it. Wait, wasn't that the what card? What wasn't the i9 the thing where this whatchamacallit, this benchmarking whatever Intel hired these people to do a benchmark and they messed it all up, and so it's like 12% better than the Ryzen and it's like twice as expensive. It's like $1,200, $1,500, and you get a Ryzen for like $5 or something like that. That's actually $3. But I'm just saying, I heard that. I was like, wait a second. Why would I buy that? Oh no, that was the 2080, right? I think that was the 2080. That's what it was. They were benchmarking. There was no. Hold up. Now I gotta look it up. Now I gotta look it up. Let's see. How do you spell i9 benchmarks faked? Is that what it was? No, it wasn't it. Benchmarking possibly no. Use benchmark no. Fake PC benchmark results no. What was it? Surely fake AMD Ryzen sizes no, that wasn't it. Was it the? I did. It's 19. Jeez, I'm such an idiot. Aha! i9 Core i9 9900K versus Ryzen 2800X. Totally fake benchmarks. Commissioning misleading Core i9 benchmarks. Intel claims i9 9900K benchmarks are not faked. Or some. Yeah, it was that. Hold on, let me keep going. AMD for console is different because it can opt. Yeah, the console stuff is definitely different. Get your 1080p Blu-rays hit out of here. Oh, blurry stuff. You want those FPSs? You have to go with 1080p. I'll be a while until I get a hardware cable and run games at over 100p and 4K. You don't even have a 4K monitor, so why would you get a 4K card? Just get yourself a 950. Get yourself a 980 SLI. Put it on a 720p monitor. You good? You want 100? You want 100 frames per second? Pay says, "Hey guys, I got the biggest Z penis in the room and a 1080p monitor." What? What? It's all about the 4K HDR G-Sync. Get your crappy 1080p monitor out of here. Pace has a point there, Tiger Cloud. If you're gonna brag about PC and all that stuff, you can't be rocking 1080p. I mean, I can't do 10. I can't do anything over 1080p because I don't have anything to run it on. So yeah, I don't. So I don't brag about it either. Pace also says at Tiger Cloud, I'm so confused. You have this giant penis of a PC and you're Twitch streaming games in 480p and you're playing games at 1080p. What? Oh, here goes Tiger Claw trying to defend the Intel gods, the i9 gods. Actually, they messed up the benchmark, and then they redid the test, and the results were the same. Intel whooped. That's a lie. You lying out your face. The initial test, when they had everything all turned on or optimized for the Intel, and they didn't do the same for the AMD, right? It was like 50% performance over the AMD, right? And then they redid it, and it was 12%. So 50%, 12%, that's not the same. It beat it, yes. But 12% and 50%, those are bigger numbers. The difference, the gulf in performance is way different. And the price per performance for that, no. Sorry. You should be streaming games of 4K and playing your games of 4K. See, I'm streaming at, I think I'm streaming at 1080p if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I can stream at 1080p, streaming at 4 different places. Well, like I said before, it doesn't. It's all about CPU, and my CPU isn't the best because it is Intel, a hot piece of garbage. Come on, son. Intel's like Sony, where in this respect, where they have their stuff is higher performing at lower clock speeds for some reason. I have no idea why that is. Maybe it's changed. I don't know, but that's always been what I've known. And they're more expensive, I guess. So we'll see. FPS. Oh, it's a video. I don't want to see a freaking video. Jesus Christmas. La 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 la. Stop clocks. Let me see. Here, is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, let me pop it out there. Not full screen, you son of a bitch. Well, I guess I have to do full screen. Okay. Hold up. Shut the hell up. All right. 304, 317. So, okay. First of all, Tiger Claw, 304 versus 317 is less than 12% because the difference is 13 frames per second as far as 300 and 300, and that's times 3. So if you divide 13 divided by 3, which is like 3.3% better. That's quick Esgee math. Probably wrong, but I think it's right. So, and plus, let's see, the CPU is slower and it's cooler. This has more RAM, and this thing is blocking the freaking numbers because stupid YouTube. Fungoolies. Let me just do this so it'll pop it in another window. There we go. There we go. Tell you what. No ad, please. There we go. Shut up. All right, where is it? Stop! Oh my gosh. Okay. What is this? What? Oh, Jesus, Jesus. Sorry. Okay. Let's go to the videotape or whatever. All right. This is what game is this? Call it, dude. I don't even know what game this is. Doesn't matter. 2 frames a second. This one's faster. You're like, oh, it whooped its butt. It destroyed it. Dude, 2 frames you're talking about. Meanwhile, the R7 is slower, has a slower CPU. Has more memory, though. And the GPU is slower. And it's only 2 frames behind it, and it's faster. The refresh rate is fast. Come on, son. That's like, psh, that's so close, it's ridiculous. You'll see the frames per second. You can clearly see it has high frames. Yeah, it has, like I said, 2 frames. Really? 2 frames. That's what you, okay? And look at it. Look at the CPUs, right? So each of them have 16 cores, right? So the CPU on the i9, 64%. It's struggling. On the RX, 44. It's just like, yo, what's up, man? Just chilling, man. Yo, this is easy. This is easy, son. This is easy. Oh, let's go to CPU number 1. 88% on the i9. Let's go to on the R7. 43%. Just chilling. 43%. Oh, man, this is, oh, woo, half. That's more than half. Not even, it's like, oh, man, this is so not hard to do. We could just do a half-ass job because, positive. Whatever, man. I'm just talking about at this instance where this is explosion in the background. Oh, I gotta mute the music. I don't want to hear the music. Oh. Okay, 198. 195, 198. 197. It's still like three frames. 18. Look at that. 177. Wow, why is that one going so far down? So, like I said, it's all, you know, it's all relative. It's all the same. I can go in any frame. Let's see, CPU 1. Okay, this one is a little bit closer, but still, overall, the average, it's lower as far as CPU usage. It's lower on the R7 than it is on the i9. So it's like, oh yeah, okay. Oh, look at that. And for 170 to 165 frames per second. Come on, son. And the R7 is still faster. Still faster. What else? Okay, here we go. 253 to 236. Okay, there you go. You got a little bit of something there. Let me go full screen. You got a little something there. I wish that would go away. Got a little something there. I gotta go here. No, gotta go here. Stop. 189. The R7 has got 195, and the i9 has 189. What happened? What happened, Tiger Claw? What happened? I thought the i9 was the shit. I thought it was the shizzle. But right over here, the R7 is just killing it. Like, what's up, man? 195. Oh, what you doing over there? What you doing? 189. Ha. That's cute. Ha. I thought you were faster, son. Ha. And look at what's on the screen. Mad explosion, son. So don't come on, son. And CPU is still slower. CPU is still at 4050, while the CPU on the i9 is at 4700. 650 megahertz faster. I know they fluctuate, Tiger Claw, but I'm talking about, like, you want to look at a snapshot. The R7 is beating it right there. Look at that. There's even two CPUs on the R7 not even doing nothing. That's how good the R7 is. Just like, yo, y'all take a break real quick. Y'all take 15 milliseconds. Take 15, cause we don't need you, cause we got this. Meanwhile, the same CPUs on the i9 side, 29%, both of them. You got 29% for most of these, 43 and some, 15. I mean, if you add them up, I guess the numbers would probably be super similar. No, well, actually, not with Not with the 2 zeros. So does it give the average at the end of? Let's see. It's the average there. 47. Because all you were looking at, I guess, was like, oh, the frames per second on the bottom, right? That's all you were looking at. You weren't looking at like the CPU usage, temperature. You weren't looking at that stuff, right? Milliseconds. You weren't looking at that. Oh, 7. Okay, the R7 got a little slow right there, but it jumped back real quick. Yeah, I don't see the difference. Is like, okay, this is the widest gulf I've seen, 142 versus 125. But dude, 125, you don't even have a freaking monitor that can refresh that fast anyway. So I don't know. 207. That's the one thing about all this stuff is like, oh, I can run it at 3,000 frames per second. Like, yeah, okay. Too bad your monitor can't. Stupid. So dumb. Give me a 300 freaking hertz monitor. Nah, that look too whack. What else? I mean, that's pretty much it. Let's see here. Yeah, they're so close. You want to nitpick about 10 frames or 5 frames here? Go ahead. Even 20. The FPS on the top are the same as the FPS on the bottom, Tiger Claw. It's the same numbers. The same numbers. I know you knew that, Tiger Claw, but they're the same numbers. just to let you know. The number on the bottom is the same as the number on the top. Just as I have the milliseconds connected to it. Okay, that's the widest gulf I saw. 386 to 3. It was like 307, but it jumped back to within like 20 or 15. So what is that? A cutscene? Oh, they could get 400 frames on a cutscene, but they can't. All right, so what is this now? 200 frames. Why aren't they showing the frames on the i9 side? Oh, this is whatchamacallit. Who cares about this stupid game? Forward, fast forward. Oh, that's a benchmark for whatever that game is. This is Assassin's Creed. This is bad because it's not 1-to-1, so we can't really use that, right? It has to be a 1-to-1. Oh, that's the benchmark. Oh, my bad. My bad. I'm stupid. Uh-oh. i9's behind again. You see this? Look at this. 76 to 90. 20 frames per second? Are you kidding me? Yeah, look, Tiger Claw. I'm not usually into CPUs, PCs, and all this performance. And all. I don't care. I mean, I like it when it performs good and the playing and it's fun. Yeah, sure. But I'm not going to go and spend over $1,000. I will not spend over $500 on a graphics card. I spent $200 on my graphics card, and I was like, you know what? That's a good price right there. I think I got a discount on that, too. So I was like, you know what? That's a good price. I got Doom for it, Doom 2016. I was like, hey, that's a good price. And it works. It's all right, you know. I mean, it's a good little step up for what I need to do, even though I need a more powerful computer, of course, to do what I need to do. But right now, you know, I'm good. But, I mean, you know, look at this type. Come on, son. Even though CPU 9 is at 100%, 96 versus 76. Come on, Tiger Claw. Come on, Tiger Claw. Shout out Next Gen says, not sure if you got the update. She had surgery. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what that is. I don't want to put nobody business up on the business. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. Hope she feels better. Shadow Next Gen. Hope she feels better. Take the pain medicines if you need to. That's my advice. I mean, I don't need, the thing is like, Tiger says, gee, so you agree that Intel is better than? It's better, but not by a lot, and not by enough to justify the prices that they charge. Actually, that's not true. They're just different. I tend to, if I had a choice between AMD and Intel with my graphics card, if I had a AMD graphics card, I would get a AMD so that it works better together. You know what I mean? I mean, I would assume that it would work better together. And they have that whatchamacallit, I just totally forgot what it's called, but where you can link up the GPU and the CPU and it works better sometimes or whatever, you know. But AMD's coming up. I mean, you know, you you could talk the talk, and Intel has been on the top for a long time, but AMD is coming up. They have the console, they have PS4 and Xbox on lock. Intel's not even touching that. And the more that they like what Microsoft did with AMD and the Xbox One X, right? They said, okay, we're gonna do this. We increased the pipeline for the data. We put the software coded to the hardware, so there's less time for instructions to go to the chips, to the brains, so it's faster. These little things that like the partners like Microsoft is doing with AMD and whatever Sony is doing with PS5 with AMD will help AMD, I would assume, because it's like, oh snap, that's a good idea. What if we made a DirectX 12 card specifically, or they made a card that has all of these instruction sets or API or whatever, the DirectX and Vulkan and all these things directly on the hardware. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, boom. I mean, yeah, they are compatible with it, but if they put them on the hardware and then it's less latency, it'll have greater performance. I would assume that's what Microsoft did for the X. I don't know if that works like that for PC graphics cards, but I would assume it does. I mean, the only difference is that, what is the difference? The difference is that the quote-unquote graphics cards in these consoles are APUs and not CPUs and GPUs. So that's one difference. I guess there will always be a little bit of I won't call it, let's just call it a bottleneck for now, but it's not really. It's just a latency versus an APU, because PCs are GPU, CPU. So the CPU has to talk to the GPU via whatever, wherever the path is from the GPU, CPU, GPU, data has to go from there to there, right? And so it's like, okay, how do you make that faster? How can you make, cache is faster, maybe, I don't know, different conductive metals on the circuit board. You know what? I'm not a technical science dude with technologies and computers. I don't know about all the conductivities and stuff. I'm just saying that's the goal, to make stuff faster, right? And the current setup of how desktop PCs and I guess laptops are APUs now, right? Yeah. So what they're trying to do for desktops is get the CPU and the GPU to talk faster together. That's the goal. Like, the goal would be excuse me. The goal would be like close to zero latency, but that's kind of I think that's kind of what's up, Kaijudo? I think it's kind of I guess when you say zero latency, it would be imperceivable for like the normal human. You'd have to be like, measuring it and looking it up on, that's nanoseconds. It's like, yeah, I can't count nanoseconds. I'm sorry, I'm just not that good. But it's that I think, that's one advantage that the consoles have over PC, is that let's say Microsoft and Sony, whoever, makes a console that is as powerful as the most powerful, like the 2080 Ti, right? And the most powerful chip, RX-7, i9-99K, right? Let's say they do that, the equivalent as far as speed goes, but it's all in the APU. So AMD makes, it would be R7 or whatever, but AMD makes a super chip for these for PS5 and the Xbox Scarlet, right? They're not going to do this, but I'm just saying, let's say they do that. It would be faster than PC. It might be faster than PC because the fact that it's an APU and there's less space between the two chips. It's all there, so they're talking to each other. Microsoft has already shown that they can increase the data rate within the system itself, whether it's from the hard drive to the APU or having the DirectX embedded into the chip, so there's less time, latency I guess you can say, for the data to go from wherever it would be. I guess it would be cached. I don't know how that stuff works. Tiger says, if AMD wants to compete against NVIDIA, they're gonna have to come up with their own graphics card that can do a ray tracing, because that's where gaming is headed in the foreseeable future. Pace says, the price doesn't really matter to me when performance is most important. Tiger Cloud. Damn, son, did you poop gold or something? No one gives a shoot about ray tracing. Actually, Pace, I'll have to disagree with you about the ray tracing thing. Tiger Claw is not 100% right, but he's kind of right. So what they're doing now is they're doing like a hybrid ray tracing thing. So, this is not ray tracing, but it's an example of the reflective. What the heck is that called? Screen space reflections, I think it's called, right? Where water reflects the environment. So a lot of the time, they'll do low res art in placeholder of the actual geometry to emulate reflections, right? So it's not really reflecting the environment. It's just some art that kind of looks like the environment. So it's a fake reflection basically. So Forza Horizon 4, what it does a combination of both. When you're in, I think it's not dashboard. It's when you're on the hood mode, it's like one of the first person modes. You can see the reflection of the environment. I mean, it's accurate. I was like, I'm playing 4K, so it's accurate. I'm like, yo, this looks so good. I'm sure Forza 7 did it as well, but this, I was like, yo, for Horizon, this is good. But it's on the hood, but you can see like there's a part of it where it fades into a canned reflection. It's not the actual geometry that's reflecting real time. It's something that put in there as far as the fake reflection. So they do a combination of both, like a hybrid, if you will. And that's what they're doing with ray tracing. They're doing hybrid ray tracing where they'll bake some of the lights into the environment, and some of the stuff like, when you have the light rays, the God rays coming through the trees, you can't bake that. So stuff like that, it'll be real time. So they're doing that now. The goal is to do ray tracing 100%, but that is way, way, way in the future, because the thing is, it's like either I'm not too 100% sure about this, but just Xbox graphics cards are a thing of the past now. I mean, kinda, not really. They need to, if I want to see a PC manufacturer make a PC that's kind of like the PS4 or the Xbox or PS5 and the Scarlet, where it's an APU and it has all this crazy, like if it was an Xbox One X but a computer, whereas everything is just an APU and it's, you know what I'm saying, it's just basically a giant graphics card with the CPU in there too, APU, you know what I mean? That's basically what the Xbox One X is. It's a giant graphics card instead of just a GPU. It's an APU, and the cooling is just like a graphics card, and it has freaking a hard drive and a dish and a Blu-ray and a 4K Blu-ray drive. That's what the Xbox One X is. It's a giant graphics card basically with a computer in it, with a Raspberry Pi duct taped to the top of it. But I want to see. I mean, I'm sure there are computers that are APUs out there, but they're not strong. They're like weak. They're like laptops in a freaking desktop case, basically. And then when you see like a cheap computer, like, oh, look, that's a cheap computer. It's only $299. Why is that? Because they just slapped some little stuff together. That's why. It's, But if they do it like for real, and go all out, or they do something that's specific, like a workstation, where, I mean, that's the whole gimmick of that's why I hate PCs a lot. I don't hate them, but I hate the fact that, I want to build me a PC so I could do the best CG graphics in Blender, or I want to do a video editing system. Well, okay, the graphics card is going to cost like $5,000. I'm like, wait, hold up. How just the graphics card? Oh, you want a workstation? I'm like, yeah, but just the graphics card costs $5,000. Why? I mean, maybe I'm inflating. Maybe it's only $3,000. Point is, I'm not spending $3,000 on a graphics card. Sorry, not gonna happen. So, I mean, and I guess that's more for enterprise where you have one computer. That's I don't know. I don't think that's true either, because you can if you have a whole bunch of computers on a network, you can. I was watching a video on how you can actually render, like say you're doing a CG scene in Blender, you can set it up so that each computer renders a different frame, and it keeps track of which computer is doing which frame, so it'll skip, so no computer does the same frame. So if you have 10 computers, it'll take 10 times as fast. It'll be 10 times as fast as if you just did it in one computer, basically, given that each computer is the same specs and speed. So, what was my point? My point is that PCs are cool, but it's still a hobbyist thing, and they're not quite. I think for me, I think PCs are in a place where they're kind of stuck between the old technology, the old ways of doing things, and new emerging stuff. Like I said, the APU is it's not a brand new thing, but it's something that has become more prevalent with these modern consoles, where the X is kind of performing in some cases better than certain PCs, depending on the graphics card and the CPU, right? But comparable, like if you take a PC with a CPU of what is the CPU? What is the APU speed of the freaking X? It's 2. I don't remember what it is. Let me close this. Let me pause that. Xbox One X. CPU speed, I guess. Specs. Let's do the specs. I should just do the specs. Specs. I don't remember. I think it's 2.8. I don't remember. Wow, that's my brain for me. All right, CPU 2.3. Okay, so 2.3 is slow when it comes to PCs, right? And a lot of the games are affected by that. I would say PUBG is affected by it. So even though I think it's so comparable. Like if you have a PC that's 2.3 gigahertz that doesn't turbo or whatever, just static 2.3 with 8 cores, and I would assume just 8 threads, because I don't think the Xbox is dual threaded anything. Tiger says 909 can be overclocked at 5 gigahertz on all cores, but you really need good cooling. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the issues too, is the cooling. But so the CPU is the worst thing about the Xbox One X. It's the slowest thing. It is the bottleneck of the X, but everything else is decent. If you had all this in the computer, like, all right, that's all right. Like my computer, my graphics card, which is a couple of years old now, is still better than this. 1.17 gigahertz at 40 CUs. Mine is, I had it up, I don't remember what it was 1305 gigahertz or something like that. I don't remember how many CUs it has. And I don't even know what my teraflops are on my. But the memory on my computer is not. I have 12 gigs. I think I have 12 gigs or 16. I have 12. I think I have 12. Let's look it up. Why don't you tell me? Why don't you tell me? All right, let's not look it up there. Let's look it up there. System about. Why don't you? Yeah, 12 gigs. Why don't you tell me? Why don't you? I'm working on my Jesse Ventura. Why don't you tell me? I can't do it because I don't have that Wisconsin. I can't get that North. 4K HD, 8.4 pounds. It feels heavier than that, but sure, I'll be. So what's my point? My point is that comparable specs on a PC are comparable. But if you were to buy, you cannot buy a PC with these specs for $499. You can't do it. Can't do it. 2.3 8 cores, GPU with 12 gigs of RAM for $499. Well, you know what? No, you can't. They won't have a graphics card in it that could do with 12 gigs, and that's shared memory too. See, okay, so we got to take it back. The APU is restrictive in that, like, my computer has 12 gigs of RAM plus 8 gigs of video RAM. So I got 20 gigs of RAM floating around on my computer, which is better than the X. But my Xbox One X performs better than this PC because I played the demo Forza Horizon 3 on it, and the freaking ground geometry would disappear. So, but that has to do with bandwidth. That has data. That's about data bandwidth, and that's where the Xbox One X at 326 gigabits per second, gigabytes. I think that's the big B is a byte per second. Is it gigabytes or gigabits? I don't even know. No, gigabits. It has to be gigabits. So shouldn't that be a small b? Because gigabytes is a big B, right? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm out. Oh, I had GIMP up. I should have left it open. Son of a B. Kajudo says, I thought that was Jack Nicholson. No, it wasn't. I was trying to do, well, why don't you tell, like, hey, have you ever danced with the devil, the pale moonlight? I don't remember the lines. Here's Johnny. That guy. 99 can turbo up to 5 on 2 cores. 5 gigahertz on 2 cores? I thought you just said it was on all cores. Oh, overclocked on all cores, but turbo up to 5. Okay, I got you. That's one cool thing about the Intels is that it turbos up. So mine is like a 2-point garbage, but it turbos up to 3.5, I think, or something like that. Which it doesn't do that much. So that's good. That's good for performance and cooling. So, you know, that's all right. You know, I guess that's something. I thought it was gigabytes. Let's go. Hey, we should make a cartoon. Gigabytes. I was about to say Leader One. How dare I? I am Optimal Primo. No, that's bad. I am Massive Bits. No, I have bad with tech robot names. Sorry, can't do it. Can't do it, won't do it, won't stop, can't stop. Anyway, I wanted to talk about, I didn't even start talking about it. Ty Cloud got me on the stupid PC thing. But I agree with Ty Cloud. Ray tracing is interesting, but there isn't hardware that exists today that is capable of producing the ray tracing that is needed. Like all these demos that they're showing, like, oh, look at the ray tracing, look at the Star Wars with the no, you can't do it. You get a 1080 Ti, whatever the strongest 1020 series is, you can't do that. So it's a lot of smoke and mirrors because that's crazy. It's like, oh yeah, it'll do it at 25 frames per second. You can't do it at 60. You better not even try to do it at 100. You know, you look at Tomb Raider, it was like all ray trace. It was like kind of fake ray traced. It was like I said, they're doing hybrid stuff, and the performance was bad. They're like, oh, the frames are bad, worse than the old cards, because ray tracing takes a lot of freaking computational powers. So that's what people have to realize. It's like, okay, well, we can either fake it, because they've been faking it for years. They've been baking these textures, baking the lights in for years and years and years, and it's look good. Oh, yo, you see the graphics? Oh, it looks so good. Look at God of War, right? That's a lot of baking. There is global illumination, but that's like what? That's like one light and maybe some ambient occlusion, but everything else is baked. Trust me, because you can't have graphics like that and have everything super lights, and it's definitely not ray traced. You know what I'm saying? So that's, you know, it's a lot of tricks, a lot of smoke and mirrors. They've been doing it for years, and now the industry is trying to get to real light. How light really reacts with objects, how it really reflects and refracts, and all this stuff. in real time, and it cuts on your frames. You know, it'll look super beautiful. Like if you do like a Heavy Rain, like a David Cage type of game, and it's all ray traced, 24 frames per second, it's gonna look crazy real. It's gonna look so real. And a game like that, you don't need 60 frames per second because real life is whatever, infinity frames per second. But our perception is not infinity frames per second. You know, we can't see in slow motion. That's not how it works. You may think you can, but no. Your brain only perceives. I guess it depends on the brain. You know, every brain is different, so you can't say, "Oh, I see in 100 frames per second. You only see in 29 frames per second because you stupid." I mean, maybe, but you know. So when there's like a video out on YouTube about, "Oh, nobody can see in 4K," I'm like, "Well, first of all, that's the lie." You know, our visual ability is dependent on, you know, our eyeballs and stuff. I mean, we don't have infinity ability to see as far as I don't want to say resolution because real life isn't resolution. It's all atoms and stuff, and you can't see an atom. You see a collection of cells, which is a collection of atoms. You know, you see the bigger picture and the smaller stuff. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. I tangentized out of there, and now I'm there. But like I said, they've been baking for a minute. Now they're trying to get the real deal. And I'm like, yo, it's gonna look cool, but it's gonna be, it's the 2080 series, the 2080 Ti, whatever. That's not gonna do it. That's romper room. That's like kindergarten for ray tracing. It's not even close to what it needs to be. If you can get 100% ray tracing on complex geometry and scenes and lights with 100 frames, 200 frames a second, then now you got it. But that's a couple of generations of card. That's at least, I'd say one generation of card, but I'm gonna say two generations. Two generations. So the 4080 Ti is gonna be the one that does ray tracing at 100 plus frames per second. For real. 2080's playing games. Tagala says, I remember when anti-aliasing first came out, having that enabled would take a hit on performance, but that was many years ago. With today's gaming hardware, you can have AA turned on and still get 60 frames or higher. Well, yeah, of course. But that's what I'm saying. Many years from now, ray tracing will be the new anti-aliasing. But not now. Not now. And anti-aliasing will be, it'll be used less because the resolution is going to be so high. Like by, let's say, 2 generations of cards, let's say 4 or 5 years from now, 8K will start to be introduced as far as, hey, I can buy an 8K monitor. Hey, they got 8K games. Hey, 8K movies? Maybe. Who knows? But once you get to a certain resolution, you don't need to anti-alias anymore because there's no jaggies because the resolution is so fine that you don't need it. Everything's crispy. No jaggies. It's crispy. Like on Forza Horizon 4, right? 4K, beautiful, right? But you get up close, you can see some micro jaggies. I'm gonna call them micro jaggies, but they don't ruin the image or the experience. But you're like, oh, okay, I see a little bit of stuff there. All right. So they're not anti-aliasing on Forza Horizon 4. I guess on the live, I guess the videos are something different, but so I'm like, oh, okay, and that saves on performance. So now you can have a nice strong 30 frames, and it doesn't make the images uglier. And the way that they do it is that like there's no anti-aliasing, but it has I guess individual object blurring. I forget what that's called. So when you're moving, you know, everything's blurring at a certain you know, distance and speed and stuff, and it looks good. I'm like, dang. Tiger says, if you're gaming at 4K, you might as well disable AA. Burst says, there are some fancier forms of AA that still give a performance hit. Yeah, that's true. What is it called? I mean, I know the PS4 Pro uses a whole bunch of fancy AAs and whatchamacallit. The checkerboard rendering, which is, I would say checkerboard rendering is a form of it's a form. I think it's if to me. I know it's not. It's really just a form of upscaling, but to me it's kind of like a form of upscaling plus. No, it's not. Let me take it back. I was gonna say plus AA, but it's not, because if you look at when Digital Foundry does their videos and they zoom in to like, oh, this is definitely checkerboard, and you see the checkerboard pattern, but it's like pronounced either, and even if it is AA'd, you can't smooth out a checkerboard. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you can do a little something, but it turns fuzzy. That's why a lot of the images and the graphics on the PS4 Pro are soft. They say, oh, it's soft because this and that and the third. Meanwhile, you do 4K, native 4K on the Xbox One X, crispy. And that's the allure of native 4K versus checkerboard 4K. I mean, checkerboard 4K is like, it's good enough. Doesn't look ugly. But, you get the soft. It's kind of like when HD first came out, right? And all the television news anchors, the news programs and stuff, they were freaking out because they got, oh, snap, everybody looks ugly now. So they put this Vaseline filter, but they still use it too. But it's better now. It's basically Beauty Box. If y'all know what Beauty Box is, it's a plugin. It's a plugin for video editing, and you put it in, and it makes all the pimples and the blink blooks go away. The ugly face go away, and you got pretty face. I don't use that because one, I don't use anything like that. I just say, hey, if you look ugly, that's the way you're gonna look on my video. Sorry, unless somebody's gonna hire me and then pay for all these expensive plugins to use on people's ugly faces. Kedger says, you ever seen the checkerboard kids on MNN? No, I don't know what that is. The checkerboard kids. I'm afraid to look it up. DC Nate says, Tiger Claw says first. Burr said, okay, hold on. I gotta go back. I missed a few things. I wasn't paying attention. Burr says FXAA, FSAA, and TAA all look the effing same to me. I know, yeah, that's true, and they have different performance hits on it too. DC Nate says, oh my God, Burr, how dare you? Burr says, but people swear by TAA. Oh, that's temporal anti-aliasing, right? That's like checkerboard anti-aliasing. Basically, that's actually what it is, because they take a frame, I guess, before and after or something. How can you take a frame after? They take a frame before and they merge it into the next frame. That's how they do. That's what temporal. When there's a temporal, that's what that means. They take a frame before and they murks it in. Tekla says, but you can see those like 2x or 4x or whatever. I can't. You can set those. Oh yeah, that's true. Like when I render, I usually set it at 16 times because I want my things move, son. But it takes forever to render. So, DC says the only AA I do is running at lower than native resolution to let my monitor scale. That smooth resized AAA. Oh, true that. That's the thing. Like, I don't have a huge computer monitor for computer gaming. I have a freaking 900. Right here is a 900p screen, and I have a 40-inch TV here. But that's a 1080p screen. This one is, it's 900p, like I said before. And I don't game that much on PC, so it's not a big deal. And if I do game, it'll be 10. I'll set it to 1080p but it doesn't. I guess it super samples it down. I don't even know. Pay says I swear by TNA. How dare you, Dirty? Trying with the kids, trying to make it. The kids don't be naughty. Man, be naughty. I don't care. But yes, all these things that are happening in the realms of PCs / video games / I guess we could say Nintendo Switch. That's tablets, smartphones. All these I guess visual screen-based technologies it's interesting and kind of fun to like see how it progresses. And like if you think back, I have an Amiga 500. I still have an Amiga 500, but I have to fix some of the pins on it on the board. And I have to figure out a way to connect it to a monitor because I need an adapter or something because my old one is broke. But anyway, looking back at that, I bought an expansion board to make it run faster. A 4 megabyte expansion board. I think it cost me $50 maybe. And it's a big thing. You plop it on, and I'm like, okay, it's faster now. 4 megabytes. This is 16 gigabytes. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, and that's, I mean, granted, that's a 16-bit computer, blah, blah, blah. It was cool at the time. I remember I got Disney Animation Studio for the Amiga 500. And it was the best thing because it was literally like, oh, snap, I'm a Disney animator. And they had the cells, they had the onion skinning before, like any other like program that I knew of. I was like, this is so cool. And I did a few little animations, and I still have all the discs. So I have to, if I get my Amiga running, I'm gonna offload that little animation that I did. I didn't even color it. It was just a lot of it was rough, and I was just like, yo, it's kind of cool. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then I realized I don't want to do this for a living because this is just grueling. Although I'll sit here for 5 hours and edit some video, which is, I mean, sure, it's not the same, but tedious work, you know, regardless. So. But I'm getting kind of warm up in here. Anyway, Ty says, you heard of the Intellivision Amiga? No, I've never heard of that. Amiga? No. Amiga 500. Man, I remember there was this little computer store in New Rochelle, New York. I went up there. I was like, oh, computer store. I went in there, and it was super small. And he had like the Amiga 4000, I think it was, whichever the one was past it. I think it was a 4000, if that is even an Amiga model. And it was running like the 3D with the mountains, and it was like all wireframe, but it was like cool. I was like, oh snap, look at that 3D. He's like, yeah, this is how you can do 3D on the Amiga board. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I was like, I can't afford that. And then my uncle, thank you, Bob. We went to he's an Army veteran, so he goes to West. I guess it was West Point, and there's the whatever the store is, not the commissary, but it's the West Point store, and they get deals or whatever. And they had the Amiga 500 there, and it was like, oh wow! And he bought it for me. I was like, oh snap, that's crazy. I was staying with him because my parents were breaking up. Were divorcing and moving down to Florida at the same time, and I was like, I'm staying in New York. I didn't say that, but I was like through the middle of my senior year in high school, so I was like, yeah, I guess I should stay. So I stayed with my aunt and uncle, and that was awesome. Oh, here you go. It was announced yesterday. Oh, this is some new stuff. Oh, snap. See, that this is what I'm talking about, Tiger Claw. This is how you give us news. This is the news that I want to see. I don't want to see no Hollywood dibby-doo-boo. This is what okay. Television Amico console officially announced, release date revealed. This is from comic books or whatever. All right, so that's the television run, dude. Back in May, television teaser. Who cares? Dubbed the Television Amico. I don't like the Amico name, but whatever. The new system will notably be launching 2 years from now on October 10th, 2020. Here's the early concept of what the system will look like. Okay, that's ugly as hell. That's ugly. What are they seriously gonna make those controllers like that? Come on, son. I hope that's a screen on there. How much is this thing gonna be? $149 and $160. Come on, why are these freaking consoles so expensive, man? Versus at least they're using they aren't using AMD in it, so maybe it won't be a piece of shite. Are they? What are they using? All right, concrete prices yet to be nailed down. So 150 to 180. Look at Hecht drinking a backwards Dr. Pepper. How dare you? Are you in the mirror universe? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you, Hecht? Anyway, see if you guys, anybody who's watching who's not in Discord can't see. So that's what the this console won't do 3D graphics. They will only make graphics that are in 2D sprites. The trick of intellectuals. GK 120 says no game will cost more than $7.99. No ports, all E-rated. Yeah, that's okay. Let's read. As you can see from the picture, the controllers actually fit into the console. That's just like and use wireless charging. Good. Each controller will also have a 3.5 to 3x2 touchscreen to enable touch controls. Okay, all right. Further, the system will be able to support up to 8 controllers at one time, including mobile phones, which can act as stand-in controllers. All right, so far. Meanwhile, the console has the optional interactive lighting and comes packing 21st century 2D chip and architecture. What this means is that this system will focus strictly on 2D tech and games and make 2D development easy, especially compared to 2D development on the PS4 and Xbox One, which, because they are 3D focused machines, can provide a lot of challenge in 2D development. Okay, I think that's disingenuous. This will also allow, according to Intellivision, better 2D work than can be achieved on the effort. Okay, okay. Let's keep reading. Let me skim the rest of this. Beginning, not cost more than $8. Not less than 3. All E. That's right. You say E to 10. E. Super cheap. Audio. Any game that is remade will come with updated graphics or audio at levels multiplayer. They better remake all those games. Talking to any game that get the hell out. You better remake all of them handful. Anyway, okay, so this whole thing about this whole thing about the 21st century 2D chip and architecture. What does that mean? Answer me this. What engine? Because games are made on game engines. So unless they're making their own custom engine, they're grabbing one of those free engines that are out on the internet. You can go on a website and say, oh, free game engines. And it'll be like, boom. It better not be Game Maker or some junk like that. I'll be like, oh, hell no. But we are making a game. Game's called Grashers. Okay? I said the name. And we are in a 2D engine that can do 3D, but it's very difficult to do 3D in it. So it's primarily a 2D engine. We're using Spine for the sprites and the characters because it's an easier way to animate stuff instead of hand animating frames and stuff, which we can do as well. But we're using Spine, and there's actually a 3D, kind of a 3D option in Spine where you can kind of have some 3D manipulation in there. So it's kind of in the midst, like 2.5D kind of. So I don't know. We're kind of using a 2D engine. This does it. Okay, so we're having trouble because we're like, okay, we can do this, we can do that. If you have a 3D engine, all you have to do is have the camera not move in 3 dimensions. That's how difficult it is to make a 2D game. You know what? You know it's a 3D game made in a 3D engine? You ready? You ready to be mind blown? Dead Cells. Dead Cells is a 3D game made in a 3D engine. You look at that game, you're like, yo, that's 2D pixel art game. That's not 3D. No, that's 100% a 3D game. They just kept it like there. They put a filter on the 3D graphics on all the, and it looks. Rafa, who's our super programmer extraordinaire, he did the same on our game. I was like, oh, and he said, oh, yeah, we can do it. Boom. It's just a resolution change, basically. And he did it, and our game looked like pixel game. I was like, oh, okay, that's how they did it. So the mystery of, oh, Dead Cells is so awesome, look at the animation. No, it's 3D. So you look at the animation, you look at all those things, you're like, oh, once you realize that Dead Cells is a 3D game, animated with 3D models and stuff, just put in a 2D context with a filter to make it look like pixel art, then it's like, oh, of course. That's why it looks so good, because it's 3D. 3D engines make 2D games better. That's what I'm saying. If you know how to use it. you can make your 3D game look like a 2D game, but it will be better. It'll be easier to make. It'll have better effects. So it's a whole that's a whole bunch of BS that I'm just saying. As far as our experience with 2D engines and wanting to do certain things that we can't because 2D engines. Okay, so yeah, I don't already. That's a whole. But I'm not even thinking. I wasn't even thinking about buying this in the first place, and I don't care what it looks like. It doesn't really matter. And I never really had a soft spot or a nostalgia bug for Intellivision. Mine was, I was gonna say a 2600, but it sucks. Honestly, I'm gonna be real. 2600 is not good games. The games are not good. It was the first system for the most part that had, you know, cartridge. Oh man, Pac-Man, E.T. Adventure. I had Adventure, but and then my cousin got the ColecoVision, and I was like, oh, that's what graphics is supposed to look like. I was playing Smurfs, ding, 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 little Smurf run. I was like, yo, look at them colors, son. This is way better than Atari. It was so good. I'm sorry. I'm missing. Kaiju says it will sell the X. I'll sell the Xbox. Trying to be slick. Dang, son. Was that? Oh, they were talking about an episode of something. Alright, so sorry. Part-time Warrior. Atari Claus says this console will have Atari Classics games being remade. Maybe. Wait, what? This console will have Atari Classics games being remade? How's that when the Atari box is supposed to be out? How's the Intellivision gonna play Atari games? That doesn't make any sense. Why don't they just do their Intellivision like, what was it, basketball? Just like super generic names. Maybe Intellivision Amiga will have a better version of Yars' Revenge than the 360 had. GK128 says 360 Yars was a bad Dragoon Panzer knockoff. Yeah, Panzer Dragoon. Was it? I guess it was. I never played it. I think, did I play the demo? I don't remember. Yeah, Panzer Dragoon. Panzer Dragoon needs a remake. I know Crimson Dragon was the closest thing. Crimson Dragon wasn't that good because it's the closest thing to a modern day Panzer Dragoon, but certain things need to be updated with a game like Crimson Dragon, Panzer Dragoon. The menus need to be updated. There's a lot of things that need to just be, But here's the thing, okay? So, Tekla says, yeah, GK128, yeah, they made it a railgun shooter and it was nothing like the original. They just took the name and made a new game. Yes, Panzer Dragoon is rail shooter. You don't control. And the thing about Crimson Dragon that was different is that you had I think you had an option of what path to take, so you can go this way and it was beautiful. But I should play that game again. I know it's not updated or anything for the X, but I should play it again just to see why it wasn't good. Or it wasn't not good. It was just not way better or a super improvement other than from the formula, which made it kind of feel not good. You know what I mean? But back to what I was about to say. So Forza Horizon 4. It's a good game. I've been playing the hell out of it. I got many achievements. And one thing I realized about Forza Horizon 4, and 3 for that matter too, but more so 4, that I see it more in 4, is that the sense of speed and movement in that game is pretty much unparalleled, and it's because of how they use the FOV. Depending on which camera view you can, I do all the way out because it's a little bit wider, so you get a little bit more sense of speed. Other than being like on the bumper or first person, but it's still fast, right? It still feels fast, looks fast. So the thing I was like, okay, what if Sega said, Microsoft, let us use your Forza Horizon engine, and we want to make Space Harrier. What if they, like, because Space Harrier, right? I always say Space Harrier, that's my jam, right? So Space Harrier is the concept is you're a dude with a rocket gun, and you're running along the landscape really fast, and stuff is coming at you, and you shoot it. Space Harrier. So the sense of speed of Forza Horizon is such that I can imagine a Space Harrier remake with how the sense of speed works in Forza, and it's kind of an open world. Like, so they can. It's an open world as far as looks, but like the enemies would just fly in a certain pattern, whatever. So it doesn't really matter. That would be so awesome. Like the sense of speed that married with like the gameplay of even so, Panzer Dragoon would be awesome. I would be like, oh my god, that would be so dope. And they kind of ventured into it a little bit with 3D Planet Harriers, but it wasn't, you know, the technology wasn't there. I think it was Naomi. The Naomi engine was not ready for, you know. So that's why I'm like, if they do like modern day versions of like all those dope games, I know they did Outrun 2, which is pretty good. I think it's the closest realization of a pretty dope remake. And actually, I think it's a little better because they put the drifting in, and that feels so good. You're like, shh. It feels like it feels like their kart game actually. The Sonic All Star Racing, whatever, Transform feels like that. How you slide on that one. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But like, just watch. That's looking at Forza. I mean, I got this ride in Forza. I forgot what it's called, the Bobo or the Momo, the Bomo or Bono or something. And it's basically a F1. It's like a street legal. It looks like, I guess, a street legal F1 car, basically. And it's so fast. The pickup is crazy fast. I'm like, yo, I need to 3-star this jump. Boom. Not the first try, because I'm like, I always be like, oh, I don't give myself enough room to pick up speed. So, because I'm like, oh, this car is the fastest car. It's got rockets on it, but no. So I was like, let me back up a little bit, and I hit it. Boom. So good. That game. I'm gonna play some tonight too. But I'm like, even though I don't have a PS4 yet, even though I haven't played Spider-Man or God of War or all these games, I am missing out on a segment of video gaming, right? I still feel good like having just an Xbox One X. I still feel good about having the option to do something on PC, which I probably won't ever do. I still feel good about not having a Switch because they make good games. Not gonna say they don't, but I'm not like, oh man, I'm missing the games, you know. And I remember I have nostalgia for Nintendo because my brother had an NES. I have an NES now. And he had Super Mario Bros. 2. That's the one game I want to get. I want to get Super Mario Bros. 2 for the NES. Actually, you know what? That's one of the things why I was like looking at I think it's the classic. The NES Classic has Super Mario Bros. 2 in it, right? I believe. That's like one of the reasons why I was like, yo, I should get I should get the NES Classic because Super Mario Bros. 2 is my jam. Even though that's not, it was, well, Doki Doki Panic, whatever. But I'm telling America, Super Mario Bros. 2 with Toad, and you pulling up the turn-ups and stuff, like Brutin, and the princess is floating. Yeah, I have the 4 characters. That was my jam. The music was dope. I love that game. I love that game. Super Mario Bros. 2 was my jam. And I was seriously considering getting a SNES Classic because of just that game. Everything else kick rocks, but that game I was like, all right. And as far as just a nostalgia piece, I was like, I should get it because it would be part of my quote-unquote collection. But I'm not collecting it to have, I have the original. I don't care. I want to play the game. I want to be able to play the game. Be like, oh, okay, boom, play it. Be like, and then the endorphins activate or whatever, and you're like, oh, nostalgia, right? That's all I want. I just want nostalgia juice. That's all I want. And some of it wears off, and then some of it gets reinvigorated or reinvented, reignited, if you will, by games like Forza Horizon 4. Forza Horizon 4, it reignited my love for arcade racing games. Like first it was Outrun. I was like, Outrun, best game ever, right? I was like, yay. And then Power Drift came out. I was like, oh my god, I love Power Drift, yay. And then I was like, yeah, okay. And then everything else was kind of whack. Nothing was good. It was like NES was out, Genesis was out, and the racing games were like, not the greatest. They were trying to emulate the arcade, but they couldn't because they didn't have enough power. Because basically, the Sega arcades were twice as powerful as like the Genesis. Like the Genesis was 116-bit chip, 168,000, and the arcade was times 2 basically. It just had a 68 times 2, or it was a 68 and another 68, whatever the variant was. I was like, oh, I mean, you can look this stuff up. Like if you have MAME or something and you pull up the ROM, it'll pop up on there. Because I have the ROM for Power Drift. Yes. Because I have Power Drift on my Saturn, which is arcade perfect. But my Saturn's in a cabinet that's not plugged into anything, so I'm not playing it. And it's on a disc, so the more that I play it on the disc, the more the chance of it like getting messed up and stuff, so I don't like to play it. So that's why I just like, if I want to get that juice, I was just like, ugh. But also I have the 3DS version of Power Drift on the Classic Collection. So, I mean, I can't see the specs on there, but I'm pretty sure it's all the same emulated ROM. Arcade ROM, that is. Because that's the arcade version. The 3DS version is the arcade version, and the Saturn version is the arcade version. So, what the hell was I talking about? Oh, so... yeah, so Outrun, and then the Genesis and Super Nintendo and all that stuff came out, but their racing games were kind of hot garbage. I was like, eh. And then the Sega CD came out, and Batman Returns came out, and they had the one driving sequence, and it had super scaling, and I was like, oh, snap, is it going to happen now? Because the Sega CD had an extra processor in it, and it allowed for super scaling, sprite scaling, basically. And I was like, yes, this is what I wanted. But that was like the only game that really did it. They didn't really. And then the Saturn came out, and then that's when they had all the arcade games from 10 years before were pretty much arcade perfect. I think except for the sound. But I was like, yeah, this is dope. And one thing I hated about those games was when they did they had the old music from the original game, and then they did the what was it called? The supercomposed or whatever, where I guess the original composer, I guess, would use new, I guess, sounds or instruments or whatever, and it sounded horrible. I was like, this sounds like hot garbage. This sounds like late 80s jazz, where there's no bottom, it's not juicy beats. I'm like, this sucks. No, don't, just give me the old stuff. Like that's what Afterburner Climax did. If you play Afterburner Climax, they have the original arcade music, and then they have the over what did I just say? The super composed or over whatever super composed version, and it's with new instruments, and it doesn't sound good. It's like all rock drums, and they lose the juiciness of those older synth based sounds. And I'm like, y'all, no. I mean, even if it's the same composer, like one game I'll say that did this well. We'll keep moving on. One game that did this well was Outrun 2. There's some new tracks on there. I forgot what it's called, but it sounds like, I'm like, okay, the original, like the remakes of the super composed songs sound pretty good. I'm like, okay, Magical Sound Shower, the new version, that sounds pretty good. It's pretty close. That's all right. But they have a new track on there, and it's also from Outrun 2, and it was a Xbox original Xbox game. I think it was Outrun 2, yeah. And it's basically the same game. I think they just like a remake or HD remake, or whatever. But anyway, I forgot but it sounded just like if it was a missing track from the original game, except it's all composed with new music and juicy beats and stuff. I was like, yo, this is dope. This is how you make a modern day type of flavor song for a game that had dope music back in the day. This is how you do it. And they did it in Outrun 2. And I'm like, I haven't seen any other game do it well. And I'm like, I'm waiting. I'm like, yo, I know Sega, I know you got some composer, and you got was he Yuzo Kirishiro or whatever. That dude, the Revenge of Shinobi dude, the Streets of Rage dude, him. I don't know what he's doing now, but shoot. But anyway, so Outrun 2 was dope. I was like, okay, that's dope. And then it was like, okay, whatever. You know, Burnout. I think Burnout was the next game. And I was like, oh, yeah, racing games. I love it. Arcade, yay. It was great with the destruction and stuff. But actually, the first Burnout was dope. Like, if you go back, it's simple, and it was, like, very limited. It wasn't like an open world or anything like Paradise. and it wasn't tracked like the others either. But it was like it was really weird, and it was the first game, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. It's like, and I got it, and I was like, oh, it's Burnout, whatever. And I didn't know what it was. It was some goofy racing game, but it's so cool. Cause it's like when you're driving, you're like, oh, whoa, almost hit that dude, and you crash easily. And once you crash, you like wipe out. It's pretty good. Like if y'all don't know, play the first Burnout. Go back and play the first Burnout. It's pretty fun. But you know the Burnout series was cool. But after that, Forza 3, like Forza 1 and 2, whatever. They tried to be Sims. Forza 3 came out and was like, yeah, it's a Sim, but something's different. Did you change your hair, Forza? I don't know what. That's when they started adding that dope music, I guess, or I just wasn't paying attention. But they added some drum and bass in there. I was like, oh shoot, what is this feeling that I have, right? And then Forza Horizon came out. I was like, oh man, this is dope. This is almost the perfect game, except it's not really open world. It's open roads. It's not open world. Then Forza Horizon 2 came out, open world. I said, oh my gosh, 3 better. Oh my god, Hot Wheels. Oh my gosh. Now 4. I say the Hot Wheels edition from 3 and Forza Horizon 4 have reignited so much. I think 4 more so, but they have reignited that nostalgia bug, that feeling of arcade racing love that I got back in the day with Outrun in them, and Outrun and Super Outrun and all that stuff. Turbo Outrun, excuse me. So I'm like, with the evolution, you know, that's technology. That's also just the skill of these skill of Playground Games, man. They knocking it out of the park, son. I need to go. Let's see what the history of Playground Games is, because I'm like I don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what is the Playground know about? Let's do that. I was like, how the hell are these guys making? Oh, that's great. Look at that. Playground Life. Accept. Whatever. I don't care. Let's go down. Oh, this is one of those HTML5 sites, which is okay. Playground Games was established in 2010. They're brand new. Bringing together some of the most experienced talent in development in the UK. Yeah, I think, who came off? I think, was it some, Bizarre Creations guys, I think, came out of there to create Playground. I'm not too sure. The vision created since then. We created 3 critically acclaimed award-winning hits with Forza Horizon. So wait, Forza Horizon was their first game, dude. 2000. Yeah, that tracks, because Forza Horizon was on the first Xbox, right? I mean the 360, excuse me. And then Forza Horizon 2 was on the 1. In total, our Horizon games have garnered more than 80 Best of awards. We've also supported those games long after launch with a rich variety of free and premium download content, delivering new exciting experience. Yep, that's true. Our philosophy. PG social calendar. I want to know the history. I don't care about that. Meet the team. What happened to About? What is it over here? About. That's where I'm at. About. Come on. Hold up. Careers. Games. Let's see about games. Maybe there's something before. Look at that beautiful image of cars. Look how beautiful that is. That's so pretty. Look at the Forza Horizon 4. That's it. Let's go. Man, that came out in June already? Oh, that was posted in June. It didn't come out in June. Hot Wheels was so good. They need to do Hot Wheels on every Forza Horizon. I want Hot Wheels in England. Or Harry Potter World. I'd be down with that. See, Forza Horizon had the 2 expansions. They had Blizzard Mountain and Hot Wheels. I'm glad they're doing the seasons now, so we don't need Blizzard Mountain. The whole map is Blizzard Mountain, so that's cool. But I guess that was a test. Man, if they do another freaking Hot Wheels, I'm getting it. Probably like $20 or something. I'm getting it. Oh, the Fast and the Furious. All right, so, all right, that's right. Storm Island. That's right. Let me go back to the next one. Let me see what let's go to the beginning. Because Forza Horizon. Okay. So Forza Horizon. It was 2012. One of the freshest, most enjoyable driving games. Like, if you go back and play Forza Horizon, like now that we're at 4, I'm like, oh man, Forza Horizon is rough. Only because you can't go through, walls and stuff. Forza Horizon, oh yeah, that's right, they had the rally expansion. I don't know if I ever got that. I don't think I got that. 1,000 Club expansion? What was that? 1,000 Club. This game adds a new fun challenge every car available driven. Over 1,000 challenges and all compete. Like all the stuff that was in the first game is in Forza Horizon 4. All this like type of stuff, the challenges and stuff. Forza Horizon 2. All right. So, I mean, the only thing that they don't have is like the license stuff, like Fast and Furious. But you could probably emulate if you have the right base car. You could probably make it look at like pretty close to it. So Storm Island is there because there's dynamic weather and seasons. So boom. Like I said, Fast and Furious. There's a Charger in there. You could make it pretty much close to it, to that one anyway. They don't have a lot of Toyotas because they have an issue with Toyota, but they have Porsches. They have Porsches back in. Forza Horizon 3, like I said, Blizzard Mountain, they have the seasons. Only thing they don't have is the Hot Wheels. They need to come out with Hot Wheels in England and put the Harry Potter, put Hogwarts right in the middle. That'd be dope. Put Hot Wheels and Hogwarts together. HH. Good to go. All right, so, yeah, all they made is Horizon games. That's why they're so good at it. That's like Naughty Dog. Not Naughty Dog. That's a bad example. Like, what studio at Sony has only made that one game in a franchise? Not Naughty Dog. They started with, what'd they start with? Was it Crash Bandicoot did they start? I don't remember. But I guess that's comparable because they've been the one team on the one game. So, Uncharted and Last of Us, which are similar games. Let's see. Let's see what Home says. See what Home says. Who's that? Look at that. Microsoft Studios. Look at the Microsoft Studios. Yep, they're. I wonder if this website changed. Wow. Why does he have a helmet on? Oh, there's different. Okay, that's kind of cool. I kind of like this. I might have to do something like this. I like this. I have to see what type of. I might have to bite. I think I might have to bite the website. I'm gonna bite your website, yo. That's what is that doing? I don't think that's doing anything. I like big butts that can not lie. All right, so that's about it. Team. Did I just go to team? I think no, that's home. Our team. Yes, HTML5. So they've been around for 8 years, and they put out 4 games. Yeah, two a year. I mean, 1 game every 2 years. Dude, that's like how many people are on the team though? Does it say? Assemble a true guys. This is a playground 8. The original playground 18. So first there was originally 18 members. We've added a combination of vastly experienced developers who have joined from all over the world and handpicked graduates, several of whom have risen in management position. They have gained experience and shared a passion. Our success is just how many? Ooh. Art. Ooh, I like this website. Ooh, vehicle art. Hello. Cool. Principal vehicle artist. Vehicle artist. Okay. Yeah. Wait. So, join the team. Hey, you want a job at Microsoft Playground Games? What could I do? I could do audio design, but lead audio designer, senior audio designer, audio designer. He has a Switch. How dare him? That's the enemy now. So, yeah, I guess they don't have in-house musicians. I guess all these guys are probably musicians, actually, because that's how it kind of works. Animation, art management, character art, senior character artist, Okay, so here's the interesting thing about this being in here. Yes, there are characters in Forza Horizon, but that's something new, though. That's something that their rendering system that they're going into, because they're making a different game now. Lead engineer. So wait, let me go back here, and we'll go to vehicle art. Well, oh, Simon Gibson. He's like my cousin. Okay, you can't click on him. All right. I thought it would say something about them or something. Let's see what Q&A says. Oh, Q&A. I thought it was actually a Q&A. All right. So that's interesting. I mean, I didn't really okay, that's not what I wanted, but let's see if I can. Okay. Is there a wiki? Playground games? Guess let's see. Say about wiki. Wiki. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, this is what I wanted. Development studio established by former employees of other well-known British game developers, such as Codemasters was the one I was thinking about, and Bizarre Creations, Criterion Games. Wow, Ubisoft Reflections. I don't know who they were. British focus on racing games, Driver Series. Okay, Slightly Mad Studios. Need for Speed, Shift. Oh, okay. Black Rock Studios. They made what did they make? Oh yeah, they were Disney. They were Disney. So Codemaster. So these are all racing juice games. What's juice games? THQ. Its name derived from THQ during. Oh, that's THQ. Juice game. Why is Juice Games THQ? I don't understand that. Okay, whatever. SCE Liverpool. Aha! Oh, Psygnosis. Oh, Psygnosis. I'm glad. See, here's the thing. So Psygnosis made a game back in the Amiga 500 times. That's one of the few games I had on my Amiga 500. It was called The Killing Game Show. I'll pull it up. And for the time, it was crazy. Let's see if it shows up. Here it is. That's it. If it shows up in The Killing Game. That's it right there. Boom. I love this game because the music. First of all, let me see if it shows plays the music. Oh, it's ad first. So we'll skip the ad. Darksiders! Ah! Okay. Is it just going to play? Learned. Oh, recorded at Amiga. That's it. That's it. I saw this. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. Look at those graphics, son. Look at those graphics. I was so. And then this part with the polygon, I was like, 3D graphics. Oh my gosh. It's so cool. And then the lightning. I got on the eyeball. Oh, it opened. I don't know. Oh, man. This is like bringing back the memories. This is so basic, but it was mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. I was like, oh my gosh. Yep. All this. I was like, this is why I like the game. This and then the music. You'll see the music when it comes up. If they play it, I don't know. They might skip it, maybe. Oh, come on, son. I was like, oh my gosh, look at this. This is so good. This is what games used to be like in the early 90s. This is like 91 or 2. I was like, oh my gosh. And then Amiga had like 4 channels of sound. It was really bad. Here it is. The music. I was like, oh my gosh. Down, down. Down, down. Had the samples in it. I was like, yo, this is kind of nice, even though it was like super lo-fi. Signoses, I miss you, baby. Yeah. Yo, I'm not ready. I thought this was the best ever. I was like, oh my gosh. Down, 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 down. The Killing Game Show. Oh snap! Break it down. Yeah. This is, and the game itself is not all that. This is a side scroller with the water coming up. And so I was like, oh my gosh. And, I mean, the graphics were cool, but it was just a simple side scroller kind of game. But this whole thing, all these that's what I was like, yo, it's got voices on it, it's all cut up. I was like, this is crazy. This is what made this was part of my like craziness of like growing up and kind of getting into music. Like, oh, this is kind of cool. That sounded like JFK for a second. It might have been him. So that's pretty good. I forgot how many changes were in this freaking song. Excuse me. Let's get to the actual gameplay. Wait, I want to go through all of it. I can't just stop now. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. That's the true breakdown right there. Like, if it was higher quality, it would be pretty super dope, you know what I mean? But it's not. Yeah, that's JFK. Dun, 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 yeah, then it loops. So here's the gameplay. And like I said, the gameplay is not that okay. It's not that good. Oh, 2000 is 10 years ago. Let's put it. Come on, let's get to it. Like the rest of the music, whatever. But the actual just title music was just dope. Like this was like whatever. I wasn't feeling it. So here's the game. It starts. And you're just a two-legged robot, and you're jumping, and you have to keep going up. You know? Oh, he died quick. So yeah, see, and that's one thing I liked about this. Oops. That's one thing I liked about this was the reflection. Was kind of that's real reflections right there, dude. Look at how cool that reflection is. Games can't even do that now. Yeah, he died because the water hit him. The juicy grease hit him. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that was back in the day. The Killing Game Show. Oh my gosh. See Sony. See how it happens? Sony closes down the studio, SCE Studio Liverpool, and it becomes, well, part of them become Playground Games, which then in turn becomes Microsoft Studios. A Microsoft Studios studio. So for me, it kind of is full circle because it's like, oh, I love Psygnosis. I love the Killing Game Show because of certain things. And because, remember, this is in 91, 92. So I was like, yo, games weren't crazy, super dope, nice. This game was pretty dope for the time. So, let me see, is there. And that's the thing, like, Forza Horizon is, you know, don't forget that it is a collaboration, like it says, it is a collaboration with Turn 10. Turn 10's technology is running for the most part, Forza Horizon. As far as the open world stuff, I guess that might be Playground's thing, their engine or whatever, or they modified the Forza engine to do it. But yeah, if it wasn't for Forza Motorsport, Forza Horizon wouldn't be half the game it is, because the technology, the car technology, the physics, all that stuff, all the tuning and all the delivery, all that stuff is from Forza Motorsport. So when people go, oh, hey, I don't like Forza Motorsport, you got to give them props, because they paved the way for Horizon to exist as it does today. So as much as I don't kind of play Forza Motorsport proper, I still give it its props. It still gets mad respect, because it opened the door for what is the greatest racing game of our time right now. That's a fact. That's undeniable. No one can say anything is better than Forza Motorsport 4 right now. They can't. I mean, they could say it, but it wouldn't be true. Anyway, so let's see. Is there? I don't know. I guess they won't give us any. What is this? Oh, that's the new game that they're working on that they haven't said anything about it. Oh wow, there is not a lot on here. 200 plus. Okay, 200 plus employees as of February 2017. I'd say it's probably more than that. I'd say it's 300, but they split the team in half. So 100 and 150 and 150. Or maybe they doubled it. So it's 400, 200, and 200. So one's working on Forza Horizon 5. One's working on Fable, whatever. So that's cool. I wonder how they're going to implement the Playground logo in Fable. Just assuming that it's Fable. Like, I wonder how they're going to do that for Fable. Oh, But, man, I mean, it's like being like certain, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, I fell in love with gaming because it made me feel something. Like, I saw Space Harrier, and I was like, what the hell is this? It's like you see something for the first time, and it blows your mind. And certain people like Matt Bradford's like, VR, PlayStation VR, oh, God, blew my mind. That's it. I'm a game, maybe that's their experience. I played VR. I haven't played PSVR, but I played a better VR, which is Oculus Rift. And it's cool, but, it's cool, and it's cool for certain things, but not for everything. And that's one of the main hurdles that VR has to overcome, because right now it's niche. Any way you look at it, because it's like you can't do you could do everything on it, but you don't want to do everything on it. It's not practical. It's not like, boom, I can do everything on this, and it works just as well or even better in VR. I'm doing VR every day, all the time, all day. Like, if VR could be as powerful as a smartphone, as ubiquitous as a smartphone, then yes, then VR is here to stay forever and ever, and it's part of our brains or whatever. But it's not. It's niche. It's one game that came out was the Super Hyperbots, whatever the hell that thing is called. And Matt Bradford's like, oh my God, it's like Super Mario, the robot. And then I'm like, okay. I think hyperbole is setting in a little bit. It might be a pretty good game, but come on, son. You can't. There's no game that has ever touched Mario in that way. Honestly, that Super Bot, whatever the heck it's called for PSVR, is basically Super Lucky's Tale, except you're going forward and you can't, like, once the camera follows the character on its set path, the camera path, you can't go back. You can turn around and look, but you can't go backwards. So it's like, no reverse. So that's one thing I think they should change in it. You should be able to go back and forth. Other than that, I'm sure it's a pretty cool game, but I think Matt is kind of overblown, hyperbolizing it a little bit. The hype is not real. And I'm like, okay, it's just a simple it's just a goop. If it wasn't in VR, here's the test. If this game wasn't in VR, would it be as good as Mario? Whatever Mario is your favorite. I'd say the answer is probably no, because it's Mario got it on lock. Even though the game is 20, 30 something years old, still better, you know? And that's the difference. You know, VR is niche and it's a gimmick. So by you saying, "Oh, it's a decent game," or it's the whatchamacallit, the killer app for VR. Oh, hell no. You trying to sell me VR with this goofy robot game? I don't think so. You better come. Like, if Heavy Rain or Detroit Become Human was super VR with all them graphics, super nice graphics, then I would be like, you know what? That might be it right there. But, you know, you get graphics downgrade because the system's not powerful enough to push, what it needs to do. You can't do the native graphics without VR in VR because it basically cuts it in half because you have to have 2 images, so you need more powers. They talking about hockey in Discord, so I got nothing to say about that. And I'm not going long this week because A, I'm tired, B, I'm tired and hungry because I only ate one little thing today, and that was a mistake. And I need to pray more. I need to pray more Forza. I need to play more Forza and games in general. I might stream today. I'm just gonna goof around, just kind of trying to clear out the map. I've done like 0 races. I'm just hitting like the speed traps and the danger signs. And it's spring now, so summer is the cool thing about Forza Horizon 4 is actually the seasons, right? So springtime is now, so there's a lot of rain, a lot of mud, so it's slick out, right? So if you're trying to do speed traps and stuff like that, wait till summer, because summer you got the dry, if it's not raining, you got the dry roads, so you can get top speed and stuff. So I'm probably gonna, anything that I haven't done as far as speed wise that goes for the speed traps and the speed zones and stuff, I'll wait till summer. But now it's spring, so it's good to do the drift zones because it's slicky. It's more slicky. But I guess that would be better in winter. But it's pretty. It's. I think it's comparable. It's comparable in spring too because it's usually mud and stuff. There aren't too many paved drift zones. There are some, but it's more. They're more on the dirt, or the gravel, mud or gravel. That's my experience anyway. I haven't done of all. And the Forzathon. So you got the Forzathon, which is like, it's a server-wide event. So like, say there's, I don't know, 20, 30 people in your server, right? And it says Forzathon starting in 8 minutes or 10 minutes, right? And there's like a countdown clock and stuff. And you say, oh, and then you put a path, and then you go to like a circle, and you have to be within the circle when it starts, and then you could be part of the event, right? So you can have 20 racers in the one event. And we're all collectively doing, whether it's a speed zone or a danger sign or drift zone, and collecting a certain amount of points to go to the next stage. There are 3 stages, and it's fun. And the thing is the brilliant thing about it is that you can have 20 racers all going crazy, and like I said last week, you ghost through each other, so you can see, but at a certain distance, it kind of jumps into ghost mode, and you just kind of go through each other. So you can see what everybody's doing, but you're not affected by it. You're not crashing into each other, which would ruin the game, basically. There are modes like infection and all that stuff. They have those within the game as well. I mean, the beauty of Forza Horizon 4 is that the only difference between it and Forza Motorsport is that Forza Motorsport will always be important because it has real-world tracks. They go to the tracks, they measure the stuff, and they do the photogrammetry or whatever. Real-world tracks. This is something that Forza Horizon 4, the Forza series in general, lack. Now, I'm not saying it as a bad thing. I'm saying it's just a fact, and that's what differentiates them, and that's why Forza Motorsport will always be important because it is a sim. It is more of a sim, and Horizon is more arcadey, but it still has its toes in the sim waters. And Well, anyway, back to the seasons. So I'm in spring now. I'm waiting for summer to do all the fast stuff, and I did all the. I have to go back and do some of the story stuff. I still have some of the business. I have to finish the business one. I forget. I think I'm on 6 level. I forget what level I'm at. And then some of them I don't have 3 stars. I have to do 3 stars in some of them. So those are the things I have to go back and do. I think I did all the story things unless something pops up because I stopped actually doing the races. So I have to do doing the seasonal races and then just the general races that pop up once you complete one and 3 more pop up. So I have a whole bunch of icons on my map, and I'm trying to get like all the boards. I did all the roads. So I think I did all the danger signs with 3 stars. So I'm trying to do all of that stuff. And then the thing is, like, I did them all, and then like I don't know, Shadow Next Gen will be on there or something, and he'll have a faster speed or a faster distance. I'm like, gosh darn it, I gotta beat Shadow Next Gen, so I just tried to go back and beat his score. So even if you get 3 stars, it's still like kind of a reason to go back if you're not the best at everything, if you want to be like that. So it's almost like a forever game. And with Force-a-thon, I think it can be a forever game if that's like just randomly generated. As far as the, I would imagine that would be a randomly generated thing, where it's like Force-a-thon starts and then it sets up 3 little things and then you just whoever's on the server gonna play if you want to. That's something that can happen they could embellish on it, or they have Goliath races where it's like a couple of hours where they have like 1,000 laps or something. You can get all these experiences. Some people have been booking the system as far as experience and credits when they do that, because they'll do a Goliath race, and it's a blueprint. I think it's a blueprint race where you just set up the number of laps and the track and stuff, the routes. Excuse me. And I'm like, that's crazy. And I haven't even delved into that. I've done 0 blueprint stuff. I've done team adventure. That's the other thing I want to talk about. Okay, so Forza-thon is one thing where you're just playing and you're in a server with people, but you're not being affected by it. But then you go into team adventure, what it's called. And it's basically you join a team and you race against another team. So it's red team versus blue team, basically. And it's crazy fun too, because it's like that's where you crash into people or whatever, but it's races and you're doing it's kind of fun, and it's all points based. So whatever place you get in, blah blah blah, adds to the points of your team, and then this team wins, this team loses, you get some credits and experience and influencers. I was like, you know what, this is kind of fun. And I was just playing with strangers, and there was one guy who had a mic, and the only thing he would say after each race, he was like, good race, good race, good race. He had like an accent or something. I don't know if he was putting the accent on or he was just like from some Slavic country, but he was like, good race, everyone, good race. I was like, okay, that's funny. Yeah. So, it's hard to go back to like Outrun or Power Drift and say, oh, these games is the best and never be anything better. No, Forza Horizon has spoiled me in a way that I don't understand how like a GT Gran Turismo can even compete with what Forza's doing right now, because they've packed so many different things into Forza and then times it by 4 with the seasons, that it's like anything else that they do extra is just like extra credit. It's just like frosting on top of frosting with sprinkles on top of frosting sprinkles. It's just extra. If they do Hot Wheels again, thank you, because that would be crazy nice. Thank you very much. If they do, I don't know what. I mean, they're doing the bond thing. That's one thing I don't like about Forza, is that, it's part of the monetization. So the bond cars, you have to buy the bond car pack or whatever. So it's like there's a race, and it says, oh, you want to do this race? And then it says, buy a car. And it's like, buy a car. It's like, oh, okay, I just buy with my in-game credits. Nope, you have to buy the car pack. The bond car pack. So, because it's a bond car or something. So I was like, you know what? Not going to do that. So I just back out and I don't do it. So, I I don't like it, but it doesn't hurt the game in a way because, well, first, I mean, I like Bond, but I'm not a super duper Bond. If I was a super duper Bond fan, I would have bought the card pack already, and I would be playing those things, right? So that stuff doesn't really matter to me. If I want to experience what it is, then I'll look it up on YouTube because I'm sure somebody's put a video up about the Bond cars and the Bond events. So it's not a big deal. I'm still getting a whole bunch of enjoyment out of racing my street legal F1 and just doing ridiculous stuff in it. You know, flipping and rolling and doing barrel rolls. You know, you get it. There's an actual skill called barrel roll where you go off a ramp and you do a barrel roll and you land it. And I think you get 1,000 points or whatever. But yeah, man, it's so much fun. It's so much fun, and it's so even versus like a Forza Motorsport proper or Gran Turismo or whatever, those other sim games. It feels like the people who made this game want you to have fun. It feels like, oh man, it's just like they care. It feels like the people who made this game care about gamers who want to have fun. That's what it feels like. Except for like I said, the monetization stuff. But the game is so strong that stuff is okay because, like, say if they come out with the Transformers pack or Knight Rider or the 80s TV pack where they got Knight Rider, the 18-man, Starsky and Hutch. I think that was 70s. Who else? DeLorean, Back to the Future movies. Let's do movies too. You know, all the crazy, you know, licenses from TV and movies and stuff. Say it's the Hollywood patch. The Hollywood pack. I'm buying that. I'm buying that so hard, it's ridiculous. Driving the kit Night 2000, 1000 in Forza Horizon with the you know it's going to have the swoosh on it. Oh, hell yeah, I'm buying that. Just take my money. So that's where it's like, okay, they can have a system where they can have a monetization system where it's like, it's actually, it's up to the consumer to say, okay, well, first of all, I haven't bought the game. I'm playing on Game Pass. So that's that. So if I'm playing for 2 months, that's $20. That's what I paid for the game. You know, like I'm not going back to Forza Horizon 3. I mean, I have the game. I paid $60 for, or 40, whatever. I think I might have got it on Black Friday. So maybe I'll pick this up on Black Friday just to have the physical copy. I don't know if I'm going to do that, though, because whatchamacallit got me spoiled. But that way of monetizing their game, where it's like, okay, you know, we're doing a Hollywood pack where we have to get licenses for these cars to put in the game, so we're going to charge you a little bit, whatever. If you really want it, if you want to play the game that you want to play and you have fun playing the game, but you want to have the Knight 1000 or the AT van or the DeLorean for Back to the Future in it, and that's what you want, and you have no problem paying for it, which I wouldn't, boom. That sounds perfectly fine to me. It's not like they're trying to rip people off or do a Bungie and, like, you know, limit the leveling, or Assassin's Creed where they gate the leveling and all that stuff. No, they're just like, yeah, just race, have fun, jump, do whatever. You know, part of the game is exploring, driving on all the roads. I did that. That's part of the game. It's part of the open world. And I'm like, yeah, okay. You know, they don't gate it off to say, oh, if you want to drive on this road, you have to pay an extra $1. No, they don't do that. You know, it's cool. It's cool. But I'm done. I'm done talking about Forza because I'm gonna play it. More of it later. Yeah. And I crashed. Well, just remember, guys, allgames.com/live. I should say this in the beginning, but I never do. I always say it at the end. Allgames.com/live is the place you need to go to listen to the show. When you're in the show, you listen to the show. Or when you go to allgames.com/live, the Discord chat is there. You click on a button, you're in Discord. That's where the people are. That's where all the chatters are chatting about. I read the chat. I read the chat. And also Twitch. I read the chat on Twitch. Twitch.tv/R9cast. That's where the Twitch is at. I simulcast to Twitch, Mixer, and All Games. I don't do Discord anymore and YouTube, but I haven't checked that in a while, so I don't know what's going on over there. I should really do something about that, but I will worry about that when I decide to make my channel something, if I ever do. I'm just too lazy. Yep. Yeah, and there's a lot of other shows on allgames.com. Knuckleballer, 32 level 1, 32 level 1, that's what it's called. 42 level 1, B Team, Dead Pixel Live, Fantastic Forum, they're fantastic. Potbelly Gamers, they're alright. They're good. They're good. They're good. I enjoyed listening to. I always forget. I always like, oh man, I'm missing because they started at like 6:30, and I'm like, oh man, I missed like an hour. The PGs, the PBGs, PB and Peter Butter and Gangsters, Potbelly Gamers. I missed it. So, but yeah, they're like I say, they're like a friends. I like listening to things where it just like sounds like a bunch of people who are your friends, basically, even though they don't know you. Whatever, you know, it's like Potbelly Gamers is like that. Derek Gates is like that, but he's like that friend that's like, oh, that's Derek Gates though. That's Derek Gates though. You know, he's like, I got a friend like that. He's my best friend. So, I mean, I'm not saying Derek Gates is my best friend. I'm saying my best friend is like Derek Gates. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's kind of how All Games works. We're all kind of like that, you know. I mean, some people are. But you know, you got friends like that too. But like, I mean, I equate it to the Funhouse guys. I watched them on YouTube. But the best thing about Funhouse, I said this before. I'll say it one more again. Filmhouse. They have a new guy. Well, he's fairly new. He's been on there for a while, but I forgot his name. But he does the hosting now, and now you know they have James and Elise and Adam and Bruce. And this new guy, I forgot his name. And they talk about movies. They talk about Venom. They were talking about spooky stuff now, the spooky movies or spooky monsters and stuff. It's really good because they talk about. I mean, they talk about movies and stuff, but they also talk about like a little bit of history. They're really smart and funny. They're just not like funny idiots. They're super smart people and funny, and they like Elise really likes horror. You know, and then James is just kind of like an overall like stuff. Bruce is I just like his laugh. He's funny too, but his laugh is infectious, if you will. And Adam is he's the most stoic, I think, of all. Him and Bruce, I believe used to work at Attack of the Show. So it's like, you know, they're all kind of, it's a lineage of, you know, video games and all that stuff, but they don't talk about just video games. They talk, like I said, they talk about films on that Filmhouse, and then they do Let's Plays. They play GTA. They have a lot of different shows within the Funhouse channel. So they're just fun to watch. And my comparison talking about them is just like Potbelly Gamers and Derek H and the B Team. It all feels like that. You know, that's why I like you know, like listening to the All Games shows. And there's other YouTubers out there that, I don't want to say YouTubers, but they're podcasters that are doing YouTube as well, because they were podcasting before they were doing YouTube. When it's just a YouTuber like your boy Philip Minusin or whatever his name is, man, he came back and people are hating him because he still didn't apologize. And I was like, I listened to the beginning of it because I was watching another video that was criticizing him, and I was like, oh, okay. And that's so, I mean, I'm an ugly dude. I'll admit that. I'm ugly and I'm old. Bridget doesn't like when I say that. And that's my opinion. I can say it. I can say it. If you say it, then you're hurting my feelings. But if I say it, it's self-deprecation, it's okay. And I just don't like his face. Okay, it's not for me. It's not meant for him. It's not meant for me to like his face. It's not meant for him to make his face likable by me. How am I trying to say this? I just don't like his face. he has an okay voice. He sounds like Matt Bradford. Well, or Matt Bradford sounds like him because I believe Matt Bradford is older. And it was hilarious because when all that stuff broke out, when he did the Dead Cells thing and plagiarized the whole thing, yeah, they did a comparison and Matt Bradford was there and he sounded just like him. I was like, okay, that's kind of funny. But like I said, his voice is okay, but the fact that he's just not original sucks. So he said, "Oh, I'm gonna be sorry about the people I hurt," and he's very vague with his stuff, which is fine. But the internet now is very particular, and you have to say the right things. You have to own up all the way and say, yes, I plagiarized, and I'm sorry to this specific person and this specific person and this specific, and be very and seem sincere, I guess. And that's the problem. I think his face prohibits him from from seeming sincere. That's a bad thing to say. His face isn't sincere enough. It kind of feels like he feels bad that it feels like to me when I look at him, it seems like he feels bad because he got caught. Not because he did the bad thing of the plagiarism. To me, just by looking at him, not with proof or anything, but it's like the first video he said with his apology, he was like, the first thing he did was I'm like, come on, son. But that's what it looks like. It looks like his face is telling me, man, I got caught. Like he feels bad that he got caught, not that he plagiarized. And that's what I can't get over. I can't get over that fact. And that's just me. That's a me thing. That's a me issue. I'm sure it's more than that. I'm sure maybe he's genuine or he's trying to be genuine. It's just his face. I don't know. Put some makeup on. I don't know. Get the better lighting. Try to change the lighting. Get better lighting first. Do that. Get more lights to make your face smoother or something. I mean, look at this. The lighting is bad too. Shiny. I don't care. I'm trying to be ugly. I'm trying. I'm setting the trend. Y'all don't know. Ugly is in, son. I just say that so I can sleep better at night. I don't truly think I'm ugly. But I know I'm not beautiful. Aesthetically. I'm probably handsome to Bridget. And she murdered me. I mean, she's got to be something. But I was a cute kid. I can say I was cute. That's the joke that I always hear because I was a cute kid, right? And then they look at it like somebody looks at a baby picture. It's usually my relatives or not my relatives, but it's whatever. They look at a picture as a cute kid. They say, oh, that she was a kid? What happened? And they always say that. I was like, okay, mother flowers. Yeah, I know I was a cute kid. Freaking acne, big nose. I don't care. Screw you, people. But look, stuff like that doesn't really affect me. It's all fun and games. I know people aren't trying to be mean or malicious like that. I would even say Tiger Claw's not trying to be mean or malicious. He just says things sometimes that he, like I said, doesn't realize that he's actually not being nice. Or maybe he does. I don't know. I will say and assume that he's saying stuff and he doesn't realize that he's being mean. I'm gonna assume that he doesn't realize it, just because it would kind of be messed up if he really knows what he's doing when he says certain things and he's just a bad person like that. That would be messed up. But I'm gonna assume that he's not a bad person. I don't think he is, and he just says stuff sometimes, and I mean, sometimes I'm blunt, and sometimes some people are like, oh, a little sensitive day, whatever, and they take it the wrong way and they get offended. That happens all the time. So, yeah, I mean, you can say something to me and be like, oh, bro, I'm like, oh, that's messed up. I should be offended, but I don't have the energy to care. That's usually how it goes with me. And Bridget just hates that because I'm like, ugh. But I call her out on certain things. So she'll say some backhanded stuff like, blah, 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 blah. Oh, snap, that was a this. But it's funny when she tries and she does really do like, oh, okay, that was a good one. My mouth was open. But when she tries for real and she's upset and she says some stuff, I'm like, okay, that was unnecessary. I'm not upset, but I just want you to realize that I realized what you had just did right there, and another person who has more sensitive nerve endings in their body might have gotten upset. But I'm going to just overlook that and not get upset, but I'm going to let you know that what you said wasn't exactly nice. You know, because getting upset doesn't make me feel better, and it's bad for the health. Bad for health in general and bad for my health, because stress is the worst. Yeah. Trying to, ever since my eyes started to die inside my head, I said, stress, I'm gonna approach stressful situations or stress in general in a different light, more blasé, if you will, even though Bridget doesn't like that part of me, like, oh, you too blasé, you don't care about nothing. I'm like, well, you know, it's not that I don't care, it's just that I don't want to die of anything stress related, and one way to do that is to not stress out. And if I'm gonna, if the cost of living and not being stressed out is to seem blasé, and people say, oh, you're blasé, I'll take that. Thank you. I'll take seeming or being blasé over stressing out about stuff that you either have no control over, which is many things, most things, or can't do anything to fix the said problem, issue, or whatever. So, yeah. That's my lesson. The more you know, and I did go long, so whatever. But anyway, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate Tech Cloud. Appreciate Sully. Appreciate GK128. Appreciate Pace. Appreciate Kajudo. Did I say Tech Cloud? Probably did, but I appreciate anyway. Burr, of course. Preach Burr. Preach Heck, but he's at work, so whatever. GK138. I said it already, didn't I? Who else? I think that's it. Nate, DC Nate. Did I say that already? Everybody in chat. Appreciate Derek H. I know you're listening, Derek H. You can't hide from me. I know you're listening. I said I was going to read a chapter, and I didn't. Because, not that I didn't have time. I had 2 hours. I have more time now, but I don't want to go any longer because I've done my time. That's not a way to do it. I did my time. I'm out of here, suckers. But yeah, time for Xbox, man. 4K, baby. Extra Life is happening soon. I'm not doing anything Extra Life. Every time Extra Life comes around or whatever, I'm always like, man, I should do some Extra Life. But I'm not big enough to do anything Extra Life. I got 3 viewers. One of them is me. 2 people watching me on Twitch. Nobody cares about the R9 Cats. So, Huber's Cast, R9 Cast. So, it would not work to do Extra Life. I would have to join a team of a bigger, like the Giant Bomb guys, and like, oh, be part of the Giant Bomb team and contribute to the Badoo. So you get $2 from me, from me, whatever. So, you know, I can't do things like that until I get if I get a following that's worth the damn. I'm not really looking to do that. That's you know, I was like, you know, then you got to be like, okay, well, I have to create content, which is more than this, I would think. I don't know. It's something to think about, but it's more. It would be more dedication to streaming, or more actual dedication to actual video content that I would, you know, produce stuff, which is something that I should do. But I don't. I haven't felt the need to do it yet, and I want to do more production streaming stuff, and I want to see how that goes. And I think streaming every day is, because I was starting to get a little bit of a following, but I need to do everyday streaming, and that's the problem with it, is that you have to do it every day, and you can't be like, oh, I don't feel like doing it. You just got to do it. And that's the thing. I mean, I'm usually in the studio working anyway, so I should I should stream, but some of the stuff that I'm doing I can't stream because like I'm editing a video. It's like y'all don't want to see that. So unless how can I do that? Let me think. I'm gonna end soon, but I'm trying to think. How could I? I mean, I could do it. I could just wait a second. Well, first I would need some stuff. I need some extra cables. I have enough monitors. I need some extra cables so I can do some monitor capture stuff and put that on the screen. But I would have to make that smaller and then probably have different music playing in the background. Like I'd have music playing in the background and then you would just see what I'm doing. Regardless of what I'm doing in the actual studio that day, it would just be kind of the music in the back as a music bed. I don't know, maybe something like that. We'll see. Anyway, I appreciate everybody. Where is my butt? There's the butt. All games. Tilt the weight. Appreciate you. Tilt the waiting. Later. All games. I said bye to all games. I'm gonna say bye to everybody else. Twitch, YouTube, Mixer. See you when I see ya. Padilla. I said bye to all games. I'm gonna say bye to everybody else. Yep. Twitch. YouTube. Yep.